Today I want to talk about curtido, a very raw, natural, healthy probiotic. It's a fermented food very similar to sauerkraut. It gives my family tons of probiotics and digestive enzymes at a very low cost. And I'm going to share with you the process of making it and give you some information on what changes it can do to your body. Stick around. Okay, so what do we have here? We have onions. They go into your sauerkraut. First of all, what is this? This isn't exactly sauerkraut, is it?
It's curtido.
It's curtido.
Like a curtido version.
What's curtido? Explain.
Salvadorian pickled vegetable. Carrots, onion, and cabbage, and salt.
And we don't store this in the fridge, do we?
Only if it's really, really hot. But yeah.
If the temperature's hot outside or in the house.
If it's like 100.
Because that can mess with the fermentation of it. Or
Yeah.
And then what's this?
My scale.
Why do you need a scale?
Because it helps me measure out how much salt I'm going to use. Organic carrot that I've peeled, and I'm going to peel this.
You don't always peel it?
No, but these carrots were kind of old, so I wanted to peel them. Sometimes the bacteria on the vegetables is helpful for the fermentation.
Okay, so this blade, what is it? Or it's not a blade?
Yeah, it is. It's a shredding blade.
Okay, and that's what you use.
For carrot and onion. Take the bottom off. Okay, here you go. Throw that away for me, Alex.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex.
Whoa.
Good job. And that's the core?
Yeah, right there.
There you go.
Core.
Take some of the outside leaves?
Yeah, but I have to save some, and I haven't saved them yet.
You have to save some, that's where you cover the top, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, Alex, throw these in there.
Yay.
Thank you.
Core?
Yeah. Here you go, Alex.
Can you see, Alex?
So, Daddy. Here, Alex, you can show him this one.
Wow.
If
Want to eat it?
I have 1 pound and 10 ounces of carrot and onion.
Pound. It's a blade?
Yes, now it's the slicing blade.
Okay. 2 millimeter slicing
There's a
blade.
4 and a 2. I always use 2.
Okay. You're still weighing as you go.
That's 5 pounds there.
That's 5 pounds already right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Putting the cores out again.
Having our little helper.
Were you good at math when you were in grade school and high school?
No.
No?
Nope.
Then why do you prefer to do it this way? It's really complex compared to, like, I've seen people just cut it and mix it with their hands and throw salt in it.
I don't know.
Why?
I guess I like the...
Now tell me, why are you so precise with it? I think I know the answer, but I want everyone...
Because it's consistent results. It always tastes the same, and
There
it's
we
always
go.
good.
That's what it is. That's the truth. That's what... It can vary, right?
Yeah.
So now you're doing another small
The
one.
last one.
And this is
small one.
almost coming to 5 pounds.
Yeah.
So you'll have 5.
And
You'll have
5.
5. And then what about this?
That's 1 pound and 10 ounces.
Okay.
Oh, I have 12 pounds and 9 ounces.
12 pounds and 9 ounces. And how many tablespoons of salt per pound?
3 tablespoons per 5 pounds.
Per 5 pounds, okay. So how many are you going to be using today?
7.5 probably.
7.5 probably, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, let's see.
But it's a
Yeah,
lot of
those-
cabbage too.
Dang, it's heavy. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. This is our kid's cereal bowl. And it feels heavier with salt than it ever has with cereal and milk.
I'm gonna wear my gloves now.
Even distribution of salt
Of salt, so that way
in the...
in the cabbage
Yeah, in the
and
cabbage.
veggie mixture.
When you finally mix that one in?
As I layer. So
Okay.
it's gonna go like cabbage, carrot, onion, cabbage, carrot, onion, salt,
Okay. And where you layer?
in these buckets.
Okay. So all this weighing starts way before you even bring it to the table and start weighing it.
At
You
the
weigh-
market. I weigh the cabbages at the market. And if the cabbage seems heavy for its size, that's good because that means there's a lot of water in the cabbage naturally.
Okay.
And you want that water because when it's fermenting and you salt it, it's going to release all that water, and that's going to create your brine. When I take the core out and I remove some of the outer leaves, it's going to weigh less.
A little less, okay.
Yeah.
So you shoot for
I
15.
use about like 15, and then when I end up with like 13 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
The moisture, everything that comes from it is from the cabbage, in fact. It's inside, held inside those cell walls.
And the carrot and onion as well.
And the salt breaks down the cell wall.
Yeah, it breaks it down and it releases it naturally.
And
it makes
that's
it wilt.
Yeah. From what I heard is that cabbage has more vitamin C than oranges, than anything like that, but it's all locked into the cell wall. The cell wall that's very difficult to break down and usually gives people gas where they need like Beano or some kind of special enzyme to help break it down.
When you ferment it, it's naturally broken down and easier to digest.
And that releases all the moisture inside, which you end up with what's called the brine, or what you call brine. And that everyone I spoke to that I was trying to explain who was eating it from yours and they thought it was really great, they kept on wondering, like, if you make it, when do you add the vinegar?
Yeah.
And there's none. There's no vinegar added. It's nothing. It's just the water from inside the cabbage. And the fermentation process that gives it the flavor and the taste. What's the most you've ever bought or done?
50
50 pounds?
pounds of sauerkraut, yeah. And that was because I was gifting it for Christmas one year.
Yeah, I think I remember
That
that.
was a lot of work.
Why don't we make that all the time?
Because it's a lot of work.
It's worth it.
That's when we put the children to work.
Yeah.
You're good at art.
Where does all this 5 pounds go? All into one or into...
Yeah, they get combined in the bucket that I'm going to.
Oh, they all get finally put together, not in one big bowl, but the bucket.
Yes.
It's just down here and waiting.
Yeah, it was years ago. I can't remember.
Okay, now you don't have to do this, huh?
No, I don't. And I only do it a little bit. I don't go crazy with it anymore. But
You do this to start it so that the cell walls will be broken. You break it down already,
yeah,
right?
and then it releases the water. Some people like gently squeeze it, or
Yes,
whatever.
they turn it with their hands.
Yeah.
I've seen that. They turn it with their hands.
That
with
works
the
for
salt.
small batches.
Yeah.
Because, if you're doing just one head of cabbage, then that's pretty easy. You don't need all this stuff.
So when you see that, that's when you believe that you're ready.
Yeah, and then it'll keep releasing more water as it sits.
Okay, ready for what?
Putting it in the bucket, the fermentation bucket.
Okay, cool.
And not gonna be.
And already you can see the juice in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna press it down. It has to be
I know that
really
people-
packed in there tight. No
No air, right?
no air, yes.
Look at
Now what's
this
that about it?
one.
Is to ferment, you need an anaerobic
Anaerobic environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And look at this one.
Yes, that's the one that we enjoy and we eat all the time. And these are
My fermentation stones. They're specifically for fermentation.
crocks.
They're made of
right. They're made for a specific
yes.
crock, right?
Yeah. Like
But you use it here.
yeah, I use it here and
What do they
it
make
works
out of?
really well.
They're stones.
Ceramic.
Ceramic. Food
Like
grade.
Food grade. Yeah, it's safe.
How do you clean them?
I just wash them with hot water. And if I want to sanitize it, then I boil it with vinegar and water for like 5 minutes. So this is pretty good. So you don't want a lot of airspace. You don't want a lot of headspace.
In whatever you're storing it in.
Yes, because that can create bacteria, mold, because it's... And I have all these floaties here in the bucket. It's not
Yes.
it's not particular. People don't usually want floaties in there because they say that it can create mold, but I haven't had any problems. I do make sure that there's no cabbage stuck to the walls, and right here I have one, so I have to push that down. When the stones are out of the brine
When they rise up.
and they rise up, I have to go back in there and push it down, because then it's out of the brine. It can create like mold.
How often do you do this during the fermentation process? And
I try to do it just once.
Go ahead.
I'll let the stones stay out of the brine for a few days, maybe like 3-4 days, because this way I only have to push it down once. and I don't have to touch the sauerkraut anymore.
So you don't like to touch it at all? Or
No,
open
not
it
too
or do
much.
anything, mess with it at all?
You have to have everything super clean, sanitized. So why I'm wearing these gloves right now. Why I don't like to mess with my fermentation. I just like to let it be. But when that happens, I have to push it down.
Push the sun down, yeah.
And when
And you try to do it all at once. And does
Yeah.
it happen throughout the whole fermentation? Or
No,
just
the
the beginning?
first phase.
Yes. What's the first
When
phase?
it's CO2,
Time.
which is like a week or two.
So the first week you have to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you can.
So now what gets put on the label?
The date, the weight, and that's about it. I usually try to put it at the water line to see how much it's increased. And then,
And then high five. Great job.
yeah.
So on this channel, I have spoken about different ways I had to deal with gut health. I've done videos on colonics, I've done videos on the master cleanse, and I've done a video on parasite cleanse. I'm really happy for all those of you who have said that maybe, you know, it helped in some way, or you considered making changes to your health because of it, or trying different things. But I forgot one of the most important things is, and that's what you do with your gut after you're done with your cleanses. Because when you clean out what's going on inside, you got to make sure that you heal it, and that the balance between good bacteria and bad bacteria can really determine where your health is going to be. My wife and I were sick with food poisoning, and that's what led to the parasite cleanse. I knew that one of the answers and one of the ways that we had to take care of our health from that point forward was to find a good probiotic. And let me tell you that they are very hard to find sometimes. You see, you go to the market and you go to health food stores, and they'll give you so many different options. And there are also different doctors or different health experts that are going to tell you, you should take this strain because this is the one that's going to do it for you. It's going to keep you strong. Or you should take this one. Or you should take as many strains as you can. That's not what I found. I found that with different pills, I would get gas. With other different pills, I would have problems like if I was reacting to dairy. With yogurts, the yogurts were great. I really liked that I was able to eat it, but it didn't want to leave my body. And it was making me feel kind of sluggish. Finally, I found one called S. Boulardii, and I told my wife, I think this is a good one because it's a yeast. It's a little different from the other probiotics, and it's supposed to be really good. And I tried it, and it worked pretty well. Now, the problem with that one is it was going to cost me almost $150 a month just to be able to get the necessary amount in my body. This was really tough. It was really a difficult time. I mean, trying to find the answer, and especially from so many to choose from. But on a site that I found a lot of this information about different probiotics, there was one section on there that had a listing for sauerkraut. It was at the bottom of my list in terms of something or an option that I was going to do or take. And with my wife, she said, wait a second, that sounds like curtido. And I asked her, what's curtido? I don't know. And she said, well, in Salvadorian culture, we have something on our dishes called curtido that we eat with pupusas, we eat with different meals. And she said, I think it's one of those things, kind of like kimchi, miso, sauerkraut, all these different cultures and these different foods that they had. There were probiotics added to the foods, to your meal. And she told me, you know, curtido is the one for Salvadorians. I thought, it sounded good, it sounded like a great thing, but when she started describing to me the process that she thought it took to make it, I thought, nah, I don't think so. Maybe not. You know, I'm kind of the cook in the family. You're going to have to be very busy with this. I'm not sure if it's something we're going to do. But I think because her mom had done it for so many years, she thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. I can do it. I'm going to do this for our family. What she did was she got a hold of her mom, found out that the way her mom makes it isn't even the right way anymore. She doesn't do a true fermentation process. And the fermentation process is what creates the probiotics, creates the bacteria, brings it to life. So my wife stepped away from it and decided, you know what, I think I'm going to still give it a shot, but I'm going to do a very popular version of sauerkraut that I'm finding on the internet. So she made this sauerkraut, and after letting it ferment for 28 days, brought it out, we dug in, and she said, I don't like it. Curtido's way better than this. She said, man, I waited so long. I was so excited, but I should have just done curtido. I'm going to find my own way to do that instead. I was okay with that. But I also said, while, you know, pulling that little container of, you know, probiotics towards me now, that sauerkraut that she had fermented, I asked her, can this be mine then? And she said, yeah, go ahead. every morning, instead of eating a banana like I usually did, I decided I'm going to down some sauerkraut. After about 2 weeks, I started to feel kind of sick. I started creating a lot of gas in my body, and it wanted to come up from the top and down through the back. I started getting lightheaded. I started getting what people call brain fog. What was happening in my body was that the overgrowth of candida, which I mentioned in the parasite cleanse, the candida was still in me, and the sauerkraut was now slowly destroying it. And the process of this dying off is what they call it, die off. This process was not very fun, and it gave me brain fog. So bad that I would even call the brain fog mini dementia in a way. That's what it felt like. No offense to people who actually suffer from dementia, but that's how bad it got at certain points with this candida die-off, this brain fog. Long story short, the candida lost and the probiotics won. I was very happy about this. My wife ended up making the curtido, which we love. I mean, my family lives off of it, you know. The curtido that my wife makes also has digestive enzymes in it, which helps us to break down the food that we're consuming. I mean, we completely eat it all the time with all meals. She ended up gifting it to people. We ended up selling it to people. We've sold to people who give to their animals, and it's helped with their animals' health. They've come back and tell us, like, this is ridiculous. Like, probiotic health is making such a difference in their health. So it's safe to say that curtido is now a daily part of our diet. It's been amazing for me to come across people who actually have like a desire or even a craving for the sauerkraut. It's almost like something inside is letting them know that they need it in their body, that they need these probiotics, they need these digestive enzymes. So that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you can, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you'd like. I love hearing comments and hearing about your journey to better health. And if you have any questions, you can always leave them down in the comments down below. I try to get back to everyone who leaves a comment. And thank you so much. I'm hoping for all of you who are searching for it, better health. And peace.